Hello, Humany viewers! So, I just got back from VidCon, which was in Anaheim, California. Check out the cool bracelets. And I got to meet a ton of you Object Show people, which was really, really fun. Including Cheesy HFJ, who's the creator of that show called One. That was awesome. But anyway, now that I'm back in my own house, it's time to revisit an age-old storyline. Total Firey Island. Last time we left off with book 13, which was called Stack 1, and as a brief refresher, the contest was to stack the highest stack of blocks, and the murderer Trout, which is the team of Pencil, Bubble, and Coiny, lost. Oh, and now that Teapot 2 is out, I can just briefly mention that it's a pure coincidence it's the same contest from 13 years ago and Teapot 2. You know, the universe just has coincidences. But anyway, in this video, we are going to move on from TFI 13 to TFI 14, and this one's called Stack 2. How unpredictable. But anyway, I have uploaded all the images to the Google Drive in case you want to read along. So here's the cover, and on the first page, we have the murderer Trout looking glum because they have to vote off one of their own members. The announcers are staring at them, Bubble's like, Pencil's like, and Coiny's like, I guess he's the least nervous out of all of them. But they gradually get more and more anxious. Pencil's even doing like this pose. And then Bubble finally breaks the silence by saying, "Well, who?" I guess she was just a little more impatient in her early days. But then we have the announcer who had a crosshatch on his little grid speaker thing back then. And he says, "Pencil." And Pencil says, "What? What did I ever do?" Kind of sounds like tennis ball, but whatever. "Okay then, I'm leaving." And then she storms off. She's furious. But then the announcer says, "Has no votes." And then Pencil skids to a halt and slides back. Like she literally slides backward like she's doing a moonwalk because she's just as skilled as Michael Jackson. And then she plops back in her original seat. But I really want to point out that she leaves this skid mark on the ground where her graphite scraped along the floor. That's attention to detail. Then the announcer has a dramatic zoom and says, "Bubble has 1 vote." Oh, okay, and then this is the first time in recorded history that the tiny loser chamber ever gets seen. So I don't know if that's a big deal to anyone, but I feel like it's a big deal to me.
You always say the TLC. Is it an object?
You mean the tiny loser chamber? Duh, of course it's an object.
October 2008, Tiny Loser Chamber, first appearance. Because Coiny says, "Oh, this means I'm going." And then we have a slow zoom out, and it reveals that we're just watching this through a TV. You can see a little bit of graininess in the TV screen. And why are we watching it through a TV? Because none other than Firey, look, that's Firey's Flames, is watching the TV saying, "Yes, you are, Coiny." And he's literally watching from inside the Tiny Loser Chamber. I kind of forgot that back in the old days, there was literally a television for entertainment inside the Tiny Loser Chamber. Like, they were pampered. But if you look at the other people, like Blocky, Teardrop, and Flower, they have angry faces on. So they are not enjoying the entertainment. But Firey says, "Yes, you are." He's happy, and he's like, he's just reveling in the fact that he thinks Coiny is going to be eliminated. But what happens back outside the Tiny Loser Chamber? We have the announcer saying, "Bubble has 1 vote." Oh, he corrects himself. He says, "At least 1 vote." Coiny also has 1 vote. So he's trying to drum up suspense, you know, how all reality game show hosts like to do. Oh, and then this is a line that literally was copy-pasted into BFDI Season 1. So then someone says, "Oh no! The lid's going down!" I was just trying to do some random voice off the top of my head. "Why do we get only 10 minutes of sunlight a day?" Smack! I know that Flower ends up saying that line. Oh, Snowball's still in the show, so that actually shouldn't be Snowball at all. Maybe it's Spongy. "Why do we get only 10 minutes of sunlight a day?" And the lid smacks down. What's interesting is that by the time that line shows up in BFDI on YouTube, the number shrunk from 10 to 5. So I made it even more cruel.
Uh-oh, it's closing. Oh, why do we get only 5 minutes of sunlight a day? Move over, Blackie.
I thought 10 was just too much pampering, so things have gotten worse. Anyway, the announcer says at least 1 vote. So basically, Coiny is 1 vote, Bubble's 1 vote. It all comes down to the 3rd vote. And I'm really drawing it out to fill up an entire 6-page book. And so there is 1 more vote. Whoever's name is on it leaves TFI. Here it is. You can see that I erased the words the vote and I just wrote is giant on top of that. It shows that, you know, this was a rough draft. It wasn't the final thing. Okay, so I have like a little, this is machinery now. A little slot in the ground and then like an index card comes up. It's like shoop. It's machinery. Shoop. And then Bubble complains by saying, oh, it's blowing. And then it slowly is turning. This is the machinery. It's like bzzz, right? Imagine the vote is written here. You see the back of it and it's slowly turning towards you like bzzz, ding, you're gonna see it. But they're not there yet. So then like Coiny's watching intensely, Bubble's watching. She's literally sweating droplets, which is kind of crazy because she's just a bubble. So where does that fluid even come from? But look, that's a name. That says Coiny. You can even see it on this half tilted frame very thinly, but here it's very clear it says Coiny. So what does that mean? That means that Bubble gets to sigh a sigh of relief. She goes, woo! And then Coiny says,
wait, Coiny's my name. So wait, you guys voted me off?
And Pencil's like,
yeah.
And then here's this panel that's just utterly like dominated by a voice bubble. This is 90% by area voice bubble. And like this little part of Pencil. I don't know if this is bad comic panel design, but she just was saying so much. She says,
I mean, you are making too much of a thing of something that happened over 10 contests ago.
Which is a fair point. You know, if you've been reading the Total Firey Island books along with me for the past few months, you know he's just been obsessed about it. So Coiny says,
oh, about Firey? I hope you're happy, cause I'm not.
And now we go back to the Tiny Loser Chamber, which is, again, a very new appearance to the show. So I wrote, if the lid was invisible, because I'm trying to remind the viewer that the lid is still covering up the characters, so they're in pitch darkness. But, you know, here we can see through the lid. So it's some sort of X-ray vision. And Firey says,
well, I am. Wait, that means Coiny's coming in here. So 1, it'll get more crowded. And 2, that jerk will be near me.
oh, I have the Firey plush here, but I don't have the other one. But you should have thought about that, Firey. This is what they call the monkey's paw, right? Where you wish for something. And then it turns out if that wish was even granted, there are all these side effects you never consider that make life worse. Yeah, I just love these shots inside the Tiny Loser Chamber. They really give you a sense of what it's like in there. And then we have the last spread. This one is the characters reflecting on the elimination. Back then I was really obsessed with Total Drama Island's confessionals. So this is sort of like Snowball's confessional. So the TV goes, bzzzt, turns onto the Snowball channel.
Yeah, I noticed it too. But so what if I was the only male against 3 females? But still, so what? I mean, hey, girls are weak, boys always win.
Remember, he's just a very misogynistic, not cool character.
Oh!
Because someone kicked him. And then here's Ice Cube. Yes, Ice Cube, stand up for yourself. She says,
sure I can't punch, but who said I couldn't kick?
Again, that's X's voice, but Ice Cube's voice is just impossible for me to make. I think it's good that Snowball was called out. Like, we don't want him to just say something and have people just accept it. They gotta fight back. And then we have the ending statistics. We have only final 4 left. Snowball and Ice Cube, 2 cold water characters representing the Yelling Beavers, and then Bubble and Pencil are representing the Murderer Trout, and it's 2v2 left. So this is literally the final quarter of characters. And the losing streak goes Trout, Trout, Beavers, Trout, Beavers, Beavers, Trout, Trout, Beavers, 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 Trout. The end. Back cover. We finished Total Firey Island 14. There's only 4 more books of this entire saga until we reach TFI 18. And that's the final book in the series. So thank you for watching. You can again go to the Google Drive if you want to read these more up close. And I will see you all next time.